Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Oh, and when you come back, and you just bring the scotch tape, so this is not so ridiculous. And I am here pre-July 4th, this beautiful American holiday, with you, my friends, to do a little Yiddishkeit with actual Yiddish, except it's fake Yiddish. It's actual Yiddish, except it's fake. Here's the deal. There's a book that David, the host of this program, found in the local library called Schmegoogle, Yiddish words from modern times. In other words, Yiddish, nearly all the language, was codified back in the late 1800s, the early 1900s. Jews coming from Russia and Poland and Austria coming to America and doing this polyglot of German and Austrian and Hungarian and Yiddish and English, and melting that all together into a language called Yiddish, which is sort of, Yiddish was dying out. It was going nowhere. People have forgotten it. And then all the Orthodox started using that because they wanted to save Hebrew for studying, for Torah and learning. And then when they wanted to curse at each other and say naughty things and talk like real people, then they would go to Yiddish. So Yiddish has had this resurgence, and certainly so many of the Yiddish words have, of course, come into the English language, like schmuck and schmeckel and putz and schmegegi, and somehow those are the words I use the most, go figure. But also everything from shlamazel, mazel tov, well, that's also Hebrew, I think. But anywho, what about words that have happened since World War I? What about all the changes in the world and in America that have gone unlanguaged in Yiddish because it's supposedly dead or dying and because it's a codified language? Well, Daniel Klein, there's a Jewish name for you, decided to put a book together. He's a New York Times best-selling author, So some credentials there, some ethos there. And let's, first of all, as we said, the definition of Schmegoogle, a word he came up with, is someone so insignificant that if you Google their name, nothing comes up. Try Googling Rabbi Sol Solomon. You'll see what a Schmegoogle is. So he does this. He's divided it into different sections of the book. We're going to go fairly randomly and find new Yiddish words created by Daniel Klein and see if he's got a good idea here or if he's just kind of, just pulling out legs here. I literally just read. Here's a cannabisal, which means a small amount of pot intake. I'm going to have to wear my glasses over my glasses for this. This will help. A small amount of pot intake that provides a maintenance high, just enough to take the edge off, but not so much that your grandma would notice if you visited her afterwards. So, used in a sentence, I had a cannabisal before I went to my bubbies the other day. She said I seemed particularly freilach, happy and cheerful. And speaking of bubby, it is she who always says, "Alles in moderation, everything in moderation." Now, from the botanical term for marijuana, cannabis, and the Yiddish term, like I use all the time for a small amount, bissel. Cannabisal, just enough. But I do not push drugs on this show. I do not believe in using anything stronger than Metamucil, and I use Metamucil daily, several times a day. Let's find something different. How about a gesundaholic? A gesundaholic, someone who is obsessed with the state of their health 24/7. Basically, every Jew is a gesundaholic. Here's used in a sentence. So today, Simon is seeing Dr. Patel for a third option about his hemorrhoids. He is a regular gesundaholic, coming from the Yiddish word gesund, which means health. And if you have very, very high health, it's gesundheit. How about a schmelinktin? A schmelinktin is someone who consults the job posting website LinkedIn several times a day, convinced this is the time they will find the job of their dreams if they never find it. Poor Ethan. He hates his job so much that he has become a schmelinktin. Yet another Yiddish put down, but oh so sad. How about not a ganef, but a J-ganef. That is a non-Jewish person who pretends to be Jewish in order to get dates on J-Date. I knew Phil was a J-ganef when he told me he was buying a three-piece suit for his family Seder. A J-ganef claims to be a Reformed Jew or cultural Jew or on J-Date. They want to snag a Jewish partner. And why wouldn't they? Well, there's tons of reasons not to marry a Jewish girl. But anyway, possibly because Jews are said to be more serious about marriage and family life than the Goyim. In any event, J-ganefs are revealed for what they are on the first date. Surprising how frequently the masquerade happens, but it certainly speaks well of the attractiveness of Jewish women and men. And it does come from the word ganef, which means crook or thief. All right, so here let's find some more. How about this is cute. These are cute. A blitzkrieg, not a blitzkrieg, a blitzkrieg. The perpetual production of blintzes meal after meal because the cook, who is usually someone's Polish grandmother, thinks they make for an excellent low-cost dish. I skip lunch because we're having dinner at Bubby's, where every day it's a blitzkrieg. More cute than funny. I know you all want this. Insults and complaints. Can't be Jewish without insults and complaints. For example, how about this? An Abschwitz. An Abschwitz. This is the result of being annoyed or made anxious by the inability to get your smartphone to work as desired or as quickly as you want. More generally, it can cover any computer or phone-based frustration, from the Yiddish word schwitz, meaning to sweat, or metaphorically to be nervous or anxious. So if you're anxious with an app, you're having an Abschwitz. And speaking of schwitz to get off the pot, let's get to curses from modern times. Well, nobody does curses like the Jews. We know some of these, and these are English. May you sell everything and retire to Florida, just as global warming makes it uninhabitable. These are some new sort of English curses for times. He should invest all his mother's money in a startup that no one understands and evaporates her money. Not funny, just so. But here's some Yiddishy curses. So how about toxipupik? I like that. Toxipupik, a person who possesses a toxic personality down to their very core, the pupik, the belly button. Everyone who encounters them feels schrecklich, awful afterwards. He is such a toxic pupik that buyers will sign anything just to get away from him. All right, how about this one? If it makes me laugh, it's going to make you laugh. Here we go. A swollen prostak. Swollen prostak. The quality of a vulgar, ignorant person who believes themselves to be classy and clever. Turn off your hearing aids. Here comes Eggy and his swollen prostak. From the Yiddish, prostak, meaning an ignorant boor. There's another one. How about oi, yo, 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 yo? I think I mispronounced that. Oi, yo, 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 yo. A labile person, one given to rapid, repetitive mood swings. Get it? Oi, yo, 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 yo. Poor Edith, her moods change so fast that her daughter changes, faster than her daughter changes boyfriends. Edith is certifiable. Oi, yo, 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 yo. It's kind of hard to. How about this one? Gefilted. Gefilted. Stuffed or filled up with anything, originally with food, but now also perhaps too much work or a strong emotion. I'm gefilted with greed. I like this one. This one I will use. Gefilted, I really, really like. Let's do some more. How about people that you meet? A fodnik is a fodnik. An irritating bore with a PhD or anyone just who's overeducated and boring. From the Yiddish nudnik, meaning a pestering, irritating bore. A fodnik, someone with a how about a Botox balagan? A Botox cosmetic procedure run amok, leaving the patient's face a cartoonish man. Go to Florida, you'll see tons of women who are Botox balagan, Any mention here of specific movie star Botox belatings have been omitted out of tzedakah charity. So let's do one or two more of these Schmegoogle terms. How about these are actually perhaps useful, doable for real. Trans mitzvah, the bar bat mitzvah of a transgender 13-year-old. From the identity, of course, from the term trans, for short for transgender, meaning someone who does not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. Join us for the trans mitzvah of our daughter Penny, nay Peter Goldstein, followed by a party featuring her favorite performance artist, Sour Pickles. There you go. So there's trans mitzvah, but there's also a ham mitzvah, which is a party for a half-Jewish person. They're having a bar mitzvah, or a row mitzvah. This is a destination bar mitzvah, which is celebrating in a place other than the boys or girls' bar bat mitzvah temple, not their synagogue. They're going to roam. They're going to do it somewhere else. Adam's row mitzvah is being held at the Hotel Rio Palace Riviera Maya in Mexico, and they're flying in a kosher chef. There you go. And then there's, of course, black mitzvah. I think we know who that's for. Let's find some other words for people, like a cashew. A cashew. Well, it's a subgroup or half Jewish, half Catholic. Cashew. Get it? Matzah pizza. People who are half Jewish, half Italian. And what else? Christmaka is in here. This is the one word that actually came out of long before this book. And a machatunoja. A machatunoja is a noun, the feeling of revulsion one feels and having to spend time with the parents of your child's spouse's parents. Yeah, that's machatunoja. Fair enough. And then, kind of hoping these would be better. But let's see. Oh, this is cute. I'm going to test you on this. A Jewish girlfriend or boyfriend. This new Yiddish term has become so popular, it's already old. It's a Jew-boo. Isn't that cool? A guy is dating a Jew-boo. Melvin has been my Jew-boo for over 3 weeks now. It's my new record. Now, according to Urban Dictionary, which we don't read this in the synagogue, but a one-night stand would never be classified as a Jew-boo. The implication here is that sometimes Jew men and women do indulge in one-night stands. What is this world coming to? Now, although the slang term boo sometimes means a close friend or confidant, it's mostly for a romantic partner. One more. I'm going to go out on a high. Usually I go out on a high. Oh, here we go. This'll do us. Someone who is zudik-philic, or someone, it's a noun form, a connoisseur of buttock shapes. Speaking of animals before, Asher calls himself a zudik-philic. He charts a very specific course through the museum's Greco-Roman sculpture garden. Zudik, from the Yiddish word zudik, meaning buttocks. Oh, we all know tuchus, but do we all know zudik now? And philic, of course, means an attraction or affinity for something. Well, I hope you have been attracted to this amusing book by Daniel Klein, best-selling New York Times author, and I think we've seen for various reasons how far the New York Times has fallen, but it's Schmegoogle, Yiddish words for modern times, here on the Dave's Gone By show with me, Rabbi Sol Solomon, sharing story. I need, most people have regular bifocals. I kind of have to do this. So, I do want to wish you, before I leave, a most happy, safe, and healthy 4th of July. We do have to celebrate this country. We have to celebrate America, even though, my God, who Who the hell is going to be on the ticket for president in November? It's what kind of insane place are we living in? What kind of crazy, fucked up college kids do we have right now in terms of what they believe in and what they're protesting for and against? Where, and yet, we're still lucky to be living in a country where people can protest even if they're being morons, where anybody in the world can grow up to be president because right now anybody in the world would be better options than the two people we have running for president. Where we have a wonderful, where people can publish silly books, not about religion, but based on religion or anything, or say anything, or feel anything, or make jokes. That truly, truly is what this wonderful country is all about. So much as I do love Israel, and Israel has my heart, and Zionist all the way, also America first. Also, God bless Hashem. You're listening to, I don't mean it just as a meme. God, you're listening, I know God's listening. God, please do bless America. Keep it going for another 200 and something years. Make it better, a little better all the time. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. I am Rabbi Sol Solomon. Shalom. Damn it. To all of you.